Bill, what?
Okay, let me ask before I get to go there. How much can I speak on this? Because
I don't know. Facts are facts. I mean,
okay, this past week,
the worst this is going to just cost me money. That's all. The worst is going to happen.
Well, we don't want to do that, but okay. So we started again. Wednesday, Thursday.
I think Thursday. No, Thursday.
It was Thursday.
Did you guys talk to the lawyer first?
No, we have not.
For what? Listen, we found out from somebody, okay? They ain't nothing secret here, right?
I don't even know what they're about to talk about, man.
I don't know if they should be talking about what they're about to talk about.
Why y'all getting nervous? Y'all getting nervous. Just sit back, relax, get your popcorn.
Right, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, here you go. Just get your popcorn. Welcome to episode 12 of the Not Offended podcast. I'm sitting next to the agent. We got the token and the bishop in the house. What's up, gentlemen? We doing good?
We're good.
Yes, sir.
Happy Monday.
I'm starting out. Happy Memorial Day Monday. I'm starting out with a quick announcement to all of you who've been following us. We got a special announcement. We have just worked out a deal with 1550 KXEX, where we're gonna be putting our podcast on that radio station as well as Sunday service. That's what's up. So we're just finalizing the details and getting everything situated, but we're going to be coming to you straight on the radio, as well as we're going to be streaming this podcast on all sorts of platforms. So we want to say thank you for sticking with us. We know sometimes it's a little hard to find us, but hey, we're worth it, right? I mean, hopefully we keep you guys entertained and full of fun facts and knowledge. That's what I'm going for today. So, Hey guys, let's just get right into it, because this is the Not Offended podcast. Let's go with the sermon recap or baptisms. We had a lot going on this weekend. Super busy weekend. So if there's a highlight, why don't we go ahead and share our highlight? We'll start off with the bishop, because the bishop's always slow to respond on stuff. Go ahead, D. What do you got for us? What was a highlight for you this weekend? Because you didn't get in the water to baptize anybody, so you know.
Yeah, I was ready. Shoes was on, shorts on.
Sean told me right before, he's like, he hasn't been in like 2 years. He was trying to avoid.
First the water's too cold, then the water's too warm. I mean, man, D, you're a little extra. Yeah. I'll hold the mic. Go ahead.
No, I mean, baptisms are always amazing. People taking that step of faith, declaring it to other people, in front of other people, like, hey, this is my change. I really like even like the class before, Mike had led it. Just telling people like their next steps, realizing like, hey, this is you saying like, hey, I want to follow Christ, but also you're not. Doesn't mean your life is going to be perfect, or tomorrow's going to be different if you choose to let it be different. So to realize you have that new life, and I thought that was really encouraging, really good. So,
what about you, Mike? The token. What's going on, man?
Yeah, baptisms were amazing, and being able to know people's stories,
right?
Just a little bit about it, and it's one of those things where I think that. The demographics of our church really get highlighted at baptisms, where you can have people who have been living like totally different lifestyles,
right?
You know, getting baptized in the same pool, and seeing some of my guys from the mission get baptized yesterday, and just even people who have been attending the church or have had family at the church for a long time, seeing them take that step of faith is always encouraging. And then also, I mean, it's a highlight for me to be able to be alongside families as, you know, you do funerals and you do weddings and you do baptisms. It's an honor to be a part of that with them. So I love baptism. So if you want to be baptized, you go to Venture Church the last Sunday of every month through the month of September. Sign up on the app. We'd love to see you take that step of faith.
That's right. And we would do baptisms in October, November, December, even January, February, throughout the fall and winter months. You just got to be willing to get into cold water. But I mean, I've done it. I've done baptisms in January and stuff like that. But
so Pastor will do it. The polar plunge with you.
We will do the polar plunge baptism. That's how we do. So what about you, Adrian? What was your highlight this weekend?
Yeah, I loved yesterday's service. I love the tribute, the Memorial Day tribute.
Oh man, yeah.
That video that was played, that was pretty awesome. And then obviously your message there, you know, things that stuck out to me is don't live for anybody else's approval.
Right.
You know, as long as you're walking with Jesus and following the word of Jesus, that's the only approval that you need. Right. And so sometimes I look for others' approval in my life, and you know, I can turn to Jesus for that. But for sure that definitely baptism, man, that was fun. We had a great time. Love to see everybody that got baptized. The families that came out was very neat. So yeah.
No, I agree. I think yesterday's baptisms, it always brings a joy to my heart because you see people taking that next step, right? We always talk about a next step, a one step closer, and baptism is a surefire way to do that, right? It's automatic right there. And going back to yesterday's message, I just want to chop that up a little bit. So I said yesterday, the closer you get to Jesus, right? The closer you get to your personal walk with him, it just naturally rubs people the wrong way.
Right.
And I don't know, I was saying that, and you could see like a lot of, if I could just describe sometimes when I'm preaching, I see like emojis, and you can see that one where like your head's blown, your mind's blown. And I can see that in the audience, like, that's why people are mad at me. That's why people don't call me anymore. And that's really what it is. I don't know, have you guys ever experienced that? The closer you got to Jesus, the more people were getting rubbed the wrong way by you or offended by you. Has that ever happened to anybody here?
Well, people like the old you. That's why they didn't like you. Ooh. And then you're changing. And literally, scripture tells you you're becoming a new person.
That new creation.
But people like the old person. They like, they like the person who used to talk a certain way, dress a certain way.
The sin in you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
They like that ratchet shoe, huh?
So like all that stuff. And it's like, well, now you're changing. You're different. Now you're not the same. It was like, well, yeah, that's the whole purpose. But yeah, that rubs people the wrong way because they want that old person that I used to hang out with, that I grew up with. And it's like, man, you're different now. It's like, well, that's what I'm trying to do is become different. So.
Right.
Yeah, misery loves company.
Oh, that's real. Go ahead and speak on it. Yeah.
Yeah, misery loves company. So it's like, I know that, coming out of like the different phases and lifestyles that I was in.
I thought she was going to go into detail. That's what I thought.
So, okay. I mean, it's like smoking weed with people growing up, right? And like I stopped smoking weed and all of a sudden, like nobody calls me anymore.
So you spending my supply.
I'm like, yo, like, so that was the only thing that we had in common?
Yeah, true.
It's like we go back to middle school. Now we're not in middle school anymore, but it's like, we're like late teens, early 20s.
Right.
And it's like, man, we've known each other for over 10 years. But, now that you're not living that lifestyle, I don't want that to be put in my face. Because now all of a sudden I maybe have to start looking at whether or not what I'm doing is right.
Right.
And so you bring some conviction in the room when you start not living the same lifestyle that they do.
And you don't even say nothing.
No.
It's just your presence.
Yeah. You think you better than me or what?
Yeah. I got that all. I got
yeah. So
my family calls me Padre. It's like, I'm not even a priest. What's Padre got to do with anything? No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah. So misery loves company. But on the flip side, like people hate when there's a different you in the room.
Right.
Yeah. Because then they really start thinking like, oh, A, like you said, you think you're better than me. Or B, what I'm doing, is it really right?
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
And they don't want to think about that.
They don't.
It's like, you ruining my high, man. Get out of here.
Yeah, certainly your circles change, the more you grow in Christ. Mm-hmm. And, even phases of life, though. Like, I know once I got married, I started hanging out with other married folks. And when you have kids, you start, your circles change. And so that's a progression of life. But, if you're married, you shouldn't be hanging out with too many single people all the time. But
that's how.
Or you gonna be single?
Yeah.
Or you gonna be single, right?
Yeah. So, I'm glad we clarified that because I don't want no more drama. After 2 episodes ago, I don't want no more drama. We are clarifying that. If you married folk, y'all need to hang out with other married folk. Okay. All right.
There you go. And so circles change sometimes, and that's just from life changes and things like that. And so you should see a difference in your life before Christ and after Christ. So.
I know for me, I think that's interesting, right? For me, I've just noticed that the closer I get to Jesus, they're not even mad at me. They're mad at the convictions that I hold. They're upset about the way I believe, right? And I think that's where I try not to take it personal. It's like, you're not really mad at me. You're just mad at the convictions that I'm holding, near and dear to my heart. And I think that's what, if I could help anybody out there that's watching, don't take it personal. And I think you put a great, Mike, when you said, I thought we had a deeper relationship than past smoking weed. But the truth is, for some of y'all out there, that's the only relationship you got. Is whether it's the club, whether it's smoking weed, the bar, whatever, that's really how shallow that relationship is. And what people really need and what people are desiring is connection on an intimate level as far as being known and knowing others. And so I think it's so important to know that. But I thought that scripture, I thought she would have brought that up for sure. Jesus said, they don't hate you, they hate me. And the world only loves its own. And it's not going to love you because I purchased you. I bought you in. I brought you in and I bought you in. So I think that's really, it's important for us to understand that. So let's segue real quick to this. Persecution. I touched on it a little bit, and I gave a modern day example of people ain't gonna come up and kill us for the most part, right? But they're gonna assassinate our character. They're gonna talk bad about us, and I talked about that's the modern day, persecution that we face over here, whether it be on social media platforms or whatever. We're just trying to assassinate people's characters, and I told people, be careful what you sign off on. Be careful what you agree to. Like, I saw a post the other day that said Adventure Church is garbage, and I'm like, you don't even know us. And then because I'm a little nosy. I went and looked, and they knew like 6 people who went to Adventure Church, and I'm like, so you're calling your own friends garbage? You know what I mean? It's like, where do we get? So when I talk about persecution, what comes to your guys' mind as far as like people really trying to get you to sign off on talking trash about somebody else, or assassinating those people's characters, or casting judgments?
Oh man, okay, I'll take this one. Yeah, certainly. I think you spoke on it yesterday. It's the way they're going to talk about you,
right?
And a lot of times it comes in from your own family.
Oh,
and I'll go there. A lot of times, family will start looking at you like, oh, you're attending church every Sunday, or you're at the church all the time. Why are you there all the time? Or there's a barbecue or something happening Sunday morning, but you in church.
It's true,
right? And so you start receiving that from within, and then obviously you see what's happening against Christians now, in the world and things like that, and how when you speak up for what you believe in, how the backlash comes. So
for sure.
Chris,
you guys having a moment right there?
Yeah,
you guys
persecution, I guess, is to me, it's a strong word to use.
Yeah.
In that way, I guess I really don't feel maybe that way. It's more if they put this pressure on you, try to shame you for being a Christian. I feel like I see a lot of. It's like, since you're a believer, you hate these group of people.
Yep.
So you're an evil person. So all you Christians are evil because this is the type of people that you hate because you believe these things. It's like, well, that's not true. But I feel like they always put us in this category of like, this is who you are because you're a believer. So you believe this, you hate this group, you hate this group. And you might even be racist because you're a believer. All these different type of things. You hate immigrants, or all this stuff you can put in this category immediately. And then people see the church and automatic view of us, if you say you're a Christian, as a negative view. Because you just want to oppress people.
That's a good point. That's good, Deshaun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm kind of thrown off on the term, but I understand where you were going with it. And that's your line of thinking is kind of what I was thinking as well, in the sense of culture is shifting and has been shifting so far away from being Bible-based.
Okay.
Like Bible living.
Sure.
That it continues to want to draw people in that direction. And I think that one of the ways that works so well is by shaming.
Okay.
So they try to label. And people, like, who wants to be labeled a racist? Who wants to be labeled a bigot? Who wants to be labeled these different things? And so what they're trying to say is, if you are going to label yourself as a Bible-believing Christian, then you're going to also wear these other labels that we give you as well.
So let me just clarify a little bit, because I think this is important for everybody who's going to be listening and watching this. So how does persecution start off? See, we immediately go to the 10, which is murder, like what happened to James and what was going to happen to what did happen to all the disciples, right? It's going to happen to Peter here real quick in the book of Acts. It didn't start out that way. It started by castigating them. Mm-hmm. And that's a very fancy word for putting them down. The shaming you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying we're being persecuted in such ways of people are throwing stuff at us and stuff, but it starts with words. Yeah. Language creates culture, and culture creates context, and that's very important to understand. So if we don't stop people now, how far is it going to go? How far is the label? Because then you're justified. When you put a label on somebody, you're justified. Oh, I only took them out because they was already racist.
Oh, I mean, think about what we see every Sunday, right? It's justified. Like Fresno PD justifies men in fatigues, in masks, yelling at kids coming into church.
Correct.
Right? Video recording. Like Fresno Police Department is okay with that. Just so you know, Fresno PD is okay with that. I said it. Okay, so I'm not putting anybody on that. I said it. I've talked to multiple captains.
You're sitting there watching it.
Yeah, and I've talked to multiple captains. That's their stance. They're okay with it. The city of Fresno is okay with it. So, but what they're doing is
Mike had his moment right there. But then,
Yeah,
you know what? You're making up for last week because you didn't have a moment last week.
But it's true. Like if that's what you're saying, like
Yeah.
you're creating context. You're creating. You're okaying the shaming.
Yeah, correct.
What's
you
next?
when you don't confront it, you approve it.
Yeah. So what's next?
Here's the purpose of the shaming. Okay, what's happening across the street, right? With the signs and everything else that's been talked about in the paper is they're trying to silence you. Right. And so what you said is correct. The persecution doesn't start with, the violence and things like that. It starts with them trying to silence you from getting the word out, the Bible out, and things.
Think about it this way. This is why I'm saying it this way. If what got the attention at the Tower Theaters when the Proud Boys showed up and there was that little scuffle?
Yeah.
That's what got the attention, right? Because you went 0 to 60 real quick and there was an act of violence, right? So what I'm saying to you is, of course, no one's going to go 0 to 60 real quick, right? But I've been ran up on. I've been cussed out every week, right? I've been threatened, probably once a month at least. So how far does it got to go?
Well, we had somebody on our security team get physically assaulted, and the Fresno PD officer didn't want to do anything. Didn't want to get out of his car.
See this? Okay, that's what I'm saying. These are the progressions, and that's what I'm saying. We understand a little bit about what's going on, but there's more to come. That's what I'm saying. If we're not careful, we in the West, this Western church, we've gotten soft.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's good for us to get chin checked and to get tested, because there's more to come. As you read your Bible, you're going to see it's not going to get better and better. It says it waxes worse. In other words, it gets worse and worse. So that's all I'm saying is we got to understand that these days are coming and that we're just being prepared for it. So, I mean, that's how I personally look at it. So, that's what I was going with when I was talking about persecution. So.
Right. Well, and I think it also, for us who have kids, I think it also brings up great conversation.
Right.
My kids are little, and it allows them to ask questions like, "Hey, what's going on? Why do they do that? Why do they talk about pastor like that? How come they were cussing me? I'm walking them to the car and they're cussing me out." Right.
Right. No, for sure.
Hey, what is that? And you get to have those conversations. Like, it's going to cost you.
And I think that's the ultimate conversation we got to have is
and it's already, you brought up kids, it's already infiltrated the schools, right?
Right.
The workplace. Like you can't talk about your faith in work sometimes. Businesses, large businesses don't,
or you can't talk about which faith.
Right, the Christian faith. Right.
It's true.
And so again, go back to silencing you. That's how they're trying to come at you, is by first silencing you.
Right. No, I think all that's good. And what I just want to encourage everybody with this is preparing us for what is to come, and we need to learn how to stand strong. And if you allow it, it just helps you to grow deep roots in Christ. And that's where you get that. You don't need people to sign off on your walk with Jesus. I don't need anybody to sign off for me. I know what I'm attempting to do is the right thing to do, right? So I don't need anybody's approval. I don't need anybody to sign off on it. Matter of fact, if they're speaking good of you, if all manner of people are speaking good of you, that might be a problem. Because trust me, the devil's only going after people who are doing stuff in the kingdom. Yeah. And I think that's a telltale sign. Speaking of doing stuff, I'm gonna take a quick moment real quick. Just just kind of look to the left and look to the right.
The pat on the back.
But yeah, go ahead. You can if you want to. But let me just brush my shoulder off a little bit. But we're gonna segue here just for a few minutes. But I do believe the Celtics and the Warriors are in the ship. You know what I'm saying? I think they're in the ship. So anybody surprised here? And if you're not surprised, we'll just go straight to predictions. All right. So anybody surprised? Celtics, Warriors. This is good.
No, I'm calling it. Hey, look, I'm looking forward to it. Just looking forward to the Celtics Warriors matchup.
Okay, we're gonna get into predictions. Yeah. Okay, hold your predictions.
It's gonna be a good finals. Okay, yeah, for sure.
Anybody surprised over here?
No.
Oh my gosh, they don't want to say no. They don't want to give me no props over here. Now look at this silence, crickets again.
I also want to be a good game, good finals. I said.
Okay, so we're gonna start over there. We're gonna start with you. We're gonna start with you, the token over here. Let's get a predictions. And who's winning? Go ahead.
I would prefer the Warriors to lose.
Okay.
He can't say Celtics win. He can't do it.
No, I like the Celtics. I don't have any problem.
He doesn't like the Warriors.
Okay,
as a Portland fan, right?
So what do you got for us? Go ahead, give us a bold prediction.
Warriors in 6, maybe 5.
Wow, man,
but probably 6.
Okay, that hurts. All right.
I have no idea. I'm going for the Warriors, but I don't think it's healthy. But both teams will keep getting hurt, so I don't know. But I'll be happy if the Warriors win.
Okay, well, give us the Warriors
You
and how
want the
many
Warriors
games?
to win?
Yeah, I want them to win.
Because of greatness?
Yeah, greatness. I mean, to see
And
Steph
his
Curry.
greatness.
See this?
Forget Steph
Man,
Curry.
This is amazing. What he's done like 3 years later to come back and be in the final. Like, this is amazing. We get to watch so many great people.
Yeah.
We get to watch LeBron James, Tom Brady, Steph Curry. Like, man, this is amazing.
I hate all those dudes. I hate all those dudes.
Yeah, you just hate greatness. Some people just hate greatness because, and maybe they weren't great when growing up. They hate it.
All right.
Shots fired. Are you gonna sit there and take that? I mean, that was a swipe. That was a swipe for sure.
I mean, I don't know.
Some people hate greatness because they weren't great. I like it.
I didn't know he was in the league.
Get him with a slap. Keep my name out your mouth. Get him with a slap right now.
Hey, granted, I know I want the singer. I was the only one black dude. In my neighborhood, I would destroy his. I would destroy his.
No, he didn't have to try out. They said, "Oh, wow, and your name is Deshaun." Oh yeah. You were able starting five.
I love it. Okay, Bill, what you got? Give me a
Since I
prediction.
know a little bit about greatness, I'll speak.
Bill made it to the league. Bill made it.
Greatness.
No, Warriors are taking it for sure. Listen,
We got our first for sure. Did
Warriors
you
in
hear that?
five.
A betting favorite right now too. So.
Warriors in
Warriors
five.
in five.
Yeah. Look, the Celtics are too inconsistent.
Yeah.
Right, from game to game, and so too inconsistent. I know that everybody's talking about their defense and things, but they got to score the ball in order to win. And so I don't see it happening. I see the Warriors in five. Plus, it's a great story for the Warriors, the comeback story. You know, I know they've won in the last 6 out of the 8 years or something. They've gone to the finals, but they're motivated, and I think they take it. So.
Well, being the only Celtics fan on the panel.
What did they say? Don't think with your heart.
No, they say don't bet with your heart.
Don't bet with your heart.
So I'm not betting. So it's not betting with my heart, okay? So I'm placing no wagers. This is my desire. And I'm even going to go as far as say this is my prayer, okay? Just not that God really answers prayers for basketball, but I am praying a quick prayer that the Celtics win it, and I'm going to go ahead and say 7. Let's extend the series. It's good for the NBA. It's good for ratings. Let's go 7 games, and let's go. I got the Celtics winning game 1. I'm going to go a step further.
Oh, okay.
I got them still in game 1. And that wakes the Warriors up, and then we get a little back and forth. Let's get a 7-game series. I love to see. That'd be the 18th banner. 18th banner for the Celtics. That'd be great.
That'd be their second in the last 30 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
35 years. Something like
You
that.
just can't help yourself, can you? You just can't help yourself. Okay,
Bill set
sorry.
it up. Bill set it up.
You know what? We're not going to call you the Bishop anymore. We're going to call you Greatness. Deshaun Greatness. That's
But he denies the greatness of the Celtics dynasty.
Yeah, wasn't that true?
Oh, here we
They're
go.
not great.
Hey, do I
They're playing against plumbers and firemen.
I'm going to bring all the stats, and I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm just going to show you how great they were.
You go. You're never gonna bring no stats, so you're gonna look it up. And you know what? Let me
I'm
burn
going to
this.
show you how great Parrish and how great Cornbread Wallace.
No, they
how
were great.
Great.
Who are they
Bird.
playing? Who are they playing?
They played the Showtime Lakers. They went back and forth. See, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you just so I can bring a little brevity here. Okay, so
There might have been like 2 finals.
Oh
three
my
they
gosh,
won.
this guy. Go back to watching Alabama. Okay, go back to watching Alabama football.
Oh yeah, I
Tom
forgot
Brady.
Alabama. We get to watch.
See, oh my
all
gosh.
this greatness.
Okay, so I got a serious question. Of course, we like to talk about serious topics that obviously offend people, and because it is the Not Offended podcast, we got to go there. We're going to talk about stuff that other people don't want to talk about. So I read an interesting article about what happened in Texas and about the different sides people are on. You got the one side saying, if you're so pro-life, then why don't you be, pro-life with people outside of the womb and all this other stuff? And why can't we have common sense gun laws? And why can't we have all this? But I saw something that I thought was really, really interesting because I felt like it was a true attempt to be in the middle, right? Because it's so polarizing, right, that you can purchase a gun at 18. And some people talk about how hard the background tests are. Now, of course, in California, it's extremely hard, but in other states, it is a little bit more loose, right? So talking about the polarization of this topic, I saw something that was actually, and I was going to throw it out there, I thought it was a pretty good solution. And they were like, why don't you just make it a mandate a federal mandate all across the 50 states that you have to be 21 to purchase your first firearm. I thought that was a good first step. I don't believe in all the reform that people talk about, but I thought 21 is actually a better age than 18, considering you can't drink and now even smoke until you're 21, if I'm not mistaken. So 21 seems to be like this catch-all number. I don't know. I just want to throw that out there. What do you guys think? Not that we're ever going to, by the way, we're never going to solve evil. The only way you fix evil is by giving people Jesus. It's the only way you fix evil. That young man was tore up. I don't know what was wrong with him. Yeah. I personally think he was battling demons, but that was pure evil.
Yeah.
That was absolute evil. But we're talking about now we're on the other side of it. What do we do as a society? What should be our position? What should be our stance? I thought the 21 year of age thing was actually.
Yeah, I don't see what changes between 18 and 21. Does evil stop at 21? You know, if somebody's going to get a gun, you know, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, maybe they're a little bit more mature. Or they have time to kind of process it. I don't know. But what I hate, because you brought up the point of, you know, there's some topics that are, you know, they brought up abortion and
right.
I just hate it when these topics come up and you have to bring up other issues to prove your point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, whatever side you're on, I don't like that. So
you believe they should just stand alone?
Stand alone, absolutely. So if it doesn't make sense, it's stand alone. If it does make sense on stand alone, there's no need to bring up abortion or other issues, race and those things. To me, when those things are brought up, it's for you to win the argument on a political level.
Yeah.
Okay? I hate it when issues are politicized and used as a weapon, you know, politically. And so racism, the gun rights, abortion, and those things. And so that's my thought. Things should just stand alone. Let's talk about gun rights and gun laws by itself.
That's a good point. What do you guys think?
No, I agree with that. I was thinking the same thing, because I even as I was thinking about these things, I kept bringing up abortion too. But now I was like, man, you right away you make it political, because I understand how you can lump those together. Because you have one side, you have, you know, they're saying take away your rights to have a gun, but also I have the right to have abortion. And so, that makes sense. They add up. It's a good argument for me, but I'm like, okay, but it's being political right away. Like, I'm just choosing a side. I'm choosing a right or left right away, immediately. I understand how you tie them together, but it's like, are we really looking for a solution for this issue right now? Or are you just trying to win an argument and saying, the other side's a bunch of idiots? So. Yeah,
because what happens is if you're just trying to win the argument, you do it for a week, and then next week it's gone, right? And then when political season comes up again,
you got to bring it up again.
It's brought up again. Gun rights, racism. You know, we're seeing it's an election year this year. This thing's going to get ramped up. So anytime something in the news comes up in those, you know, police shooting or gun rights, they bring it up.
Well, yeah. And just by the way, real quick, I thank you for saying that. It jogged my memory. Well, you had Miguel Arias come out right away and said, "Keep your prayers." You could keep your prayers because remember that, because unless you change the gun laws, he literally said that on Twitter. We don't want your prayers. You can keep your prayers.
He said that recently?
He did. He said it right after the Texas shooting.
California's one of the strictest, and if he had a gun, it was they shot up a church.
Right.
The gun laws don't change anything in that way, and I can understand.
But he wants you to know you can keep your prayers to yourself though, because they don't work.
Yeah, he's
just hurt. The brother's hurt.
Yeah,
so I want to hurt him in the past. He needs prayer. So I'm going to keep praying for him.
Oh, that's nice of you, Bishop. That's the greatness right here. That is so,
Deshaun's 100% right. He needs prayer. Here's how I see Miguel. It's the bullied became the bully.
Ooh.
And the abused became the abuser. Right. And he's used his power, his position, his power to be the bully and the abuser. So that's how I see him, but you're 100% right. The guy.
Yeah, well, I don't even know why you tweet that. In a time where parents are mourning and there's parents of faith over there, you tell people keep your prayers?
Well, it's because he's a politician. I mean, the majority of the politicians, and I usually do a big drastic sweep. I'll try to be a little bit less drastic today and I usually say all politicians are dirty. Just 99.8% of them are dirty. And they're always just searching for something that benefits them. Right? This is election season for him. Everything's always going to point back to him.
I've got the direct quote. Would you like to hear the direct quote, you guys? It says, "Where are all the pro-life leaders when elementary kids are being murdered in another mass shooting? All we get from the Right to Life and at GOP are more prayers and excuses for inaction. Save the prayers and the BS. Gary, Jim, Alan, Diane, Jerry, and Joseph.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so automatically it's politicized, right? And so there's nothing in there about solutions.
Save the prayers.
Yeah, but right away he's going to a different topic because it has nothing to do with what you're saying.
The right of life,
about
the merits,
about addressing like what happened. So I was looking at this and I was thinking, it sounded like he had an AR or a couple ARs when he went in there.
I'm not sure.
And so I start to think, okay, I don't think age does anything. I do think that depending on how you give out weapons does do something as far as like background checks and things like that. I don't understand. I'm ignorant. I don't know enough of the argument of being able to have firearms and then, how many you can have. And then the stockpile of ammo that you can have and things like that. Like, I don't know enough about that. Because to me, it's like, why do you need 400 rounds, right? Or like, why are you 18? You're 18 years old. Why do you need 400 rounds of an AR? Like, what are you going to do with that? And they talk about like semi-automatic, fully automatic guns, things like that. Like, I think you could start to try to work some of the things when you talk about laws into types of weapons that people can buy. You're not taking firearms from people, but you start to talk about the types of weapons that people can buy. But then again, that's got a lot of layers to it that I'm not really privy. I don't know.
Well, here to me, when I see all these headlines and I see this stuff, and I think some of you who watch this and who are listening to the Not Offended podcast, this is how I see it. Once again, this is another attempt to legislate behavior. And what I love about Jesus and what I love about serving Jesus is Jesus works from the inside out, not from the outside in. I got one sure way that we could stop all the violence, and that is if people receive Christ. He will not change your human behavior. He'll change your human nature. That transformation will then change your outward behavior because you are changed on the inside. And that brother was tormented. I don't know what type of demons or what was going on, but you could see it in his face. He was completely tormented. And what he needed was Jesus in his life. Because anybody who takes out their own grandma, something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. You shooting at your grandma. That's the first indication. So I don't think we'll ever be able to stop evil people from getting weapons. It could have been a gun. It could have been a rock. It could have been a machete. But the only way that we can change we're all fallen people. We all got that sin nature. We need the presence and the power of Jesus in our life. We need him to come transform us.
Yeah, amen.
That's the only way we're going to do it. I don't care First Amendment, Second Amendment, 25 amendments. I don't even know if there is 25. But my point is we need Jesus. And this has just shown us how broken this world is.
100%. We do need Jesus. I know we talk about these issues when we see a mass shooting, but these are daily things that are happening. Gang violence, right?
Oh, for sure.
People getting shot. I mean, every time you read the news here locally, somebody's getting shot up, and so
not in Miguel's district though.
Because he saved the prayers, because nobody's praying in that district.
So it's on a daily basis that's happening.
Right.
So people, not just in these scenarios, those that I don't even know the guy's name who shot up. He needed Jesus, but people here need Jesus, right? That are in gangs and
which is why we do what we do, right? And I think it's just. To me, I don't know. Maybe I'm misinterpreting this, or misjudging this, or mischaracterizing, or all three. I just really look a little sideways when someone says, when you feel like you're high enough on a pedestal that you can call other people out, and you can act in such a self-righteous way. Where are all you pro-lifers at? So does that mean next time we get the stats on the Planned Parenthood, which is in Miguel's district, and we find out how many babies are born, then we could just put that number out there? So I guarantee it's more than 19.
Yeah, because the thing that upsets me is like how...
But what type of hubris is that? You're an elected official, and you're walking around with such arrogance and pompance as if you are the cure-all, as if you are God, and you get to judge other people. That's the ultimate sign of arrogance. That's just in my opinion.
Because when he kicks out God, then life has no value anymore.
Exactly.
Laws are there to protect that which is valuable. It's there to protect life, but doesn't give value to our lives. God does. And so, yes, we're pro-life because it has value.
Life has value.
We care about the person that gets shot because it has value.
Yes.
He has nothing to give people value. We do.
Well, he doesn't even value the people in his own district. That's the problem.
Yeah, because he has no. Well, for what reason?
Well, because look, if you
make him better.
So if you value people, right, what do? You support families.
There you go.
If you value people, you don't have however many liquor licenses that you have that are way above the amount that you're supposed to have.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, he ran on. There was too many liquor licenses given out in this district, and now we got.
Oh, he's still running already.
Right? Yeah, but we got more. I see a liquor store in every corner.
We got the 7-Eleven over there just popped up.
Right.
If you value life, then where are you at when it talks about violence?
Right.
Crickets.
But
if it benefits you, and if it benefits those who
type of photo op, you know what I'm saying?
If it benefits those who might vote for you, oh yeah, let me go ahead and shoot a tweet. Let me tag people so that other people see it too.
Well, I'm glad this segued this way because this is gonna make it real easy. We all have egg on our face. We all missed it. We've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And I think we need to do a little repentance right here. This is going to be good for the soul. There was no Doug Sloan Day last week. So the Doug Sloan Day.
I didn't miss it. You told us that it was going to be that day.
Hey, I'll take the blame.
No, it's okay. It's okay because we got greatness and the token. They can't.
I don't even know what agendas. I don't even know what
we no, listen. We all said.
We had to choose a horse. Remember?
We had to choose a horse. And all of a sudden, the Doug Sloan Day got pulled off the agenda. I mean, fancy that. Who would have ever imagined, Bill Richardson, that they were going to pull the Doug Sloan Day off the agenda? And I think the brother's gone. He's in Santa Monica. He's on the beach. He's got him. I don't know if he drinks alcohol or not. He's either got him a sweet tea or mimosa or something. But he is on the beach just reading emails. And I ain't mad at you, Doug Sloan. Dougie Fresh Sloan, I ain't mad at you. But
I think GV Wire came out and said he hasn't been there for like 2 weeks, and so he wasn't there at the last council meeting. So
he was extorted. hypothetically, I wouldn't be there either. They're coming for your job.
We'll give it up to Doug. 16 years at City Hall.
There you go,
Give it up, Doug.
Hold on.
There you go.
I got it right here. Salud, Monowia in different languages. Here you go.
Deshaun.
Hold on. Little on the curve for Dougie Sloan since he's got a little on the curve. There you go.
So he's definitely down in Santa Monica already, but
can you blame him? Can you blame him?
No.
Where would you be? Fresno or Santa Monica?
Well, I love Fresno. Come on.
You didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I don't want to say it. Maybe I'll be on the beach on the weekend.
Your eyes said Santa Monica, but your lips said I love Fresno.
But 16 years here, 9 as a city attorney.
Right.
Good job for him. Great for him.
Yeah, all those administrations working with all those different councils. We salute you, Dougie Fresh Sloan. Great, good job.
Was he a good guy?
He's a good guy.
Oh, I ain't saluting.
Hey, bro. If you read what's going on, he got put in a corner. I mean, you can't fault him. I mean, okay.
Or he was playing for their team.
Hold on. I don't want to get sued either. I don't want to get some anti-slap and defamation and the Will Smith and all that other stuff. Okay, listen. I'm telling you right now, allegedly, if my boy was being extorted, I mean, how could you really do a job if you're being extorted?
Okay, that was a bad day for him, but like, what's he been doing for the last 16 years? I don't know.
He was a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Well, there's nothing else controversial came out.
We got nothing.
So I've only heard good things about him throughout the city, so.
Let's just say my people don't run in the same circle, so I don't know.
I don't even know what to say to that. My people, we Dougie Fresh Sloan Day got canceled. That's all I want to talk about. You guys are getting me into trouble. Okay, so were you guys? I woke up to this. We were tripping. More drama at City Hall. You got Esparza suing Brettafield. Brettafield does, and we're very familiar with this now, an anti-slap lawsuit. And I'm thinking to myself, what the heck is going on here? I mean, every time I turn around, this is getting like juicier and juicier. And like he said, she said, I feel like 7th grade and we're both fighting over Aisha. I mean, this is just good. This is as good as it gets. You don't remember the song? For the people who follow music, this is a good throwback. You sit over here like, who's Aisha? It's just a song, man. Come on, D. So anyway, I'm just sitting here. I mean, I just feel like, what are we going to wake up to next? I mean, what else is going to happen?
I think we made a prediction here. Who's next, right?
Who's next?
I don't know. And so I think there's a court hearing at the end of June or something.
Yeah, there is.
We're going to go to
for the
court
anti-slap,
to see
yeah.
with the anti-slap. So that lawsuit, again,
Well, we've been wrong on our predictions, but does anybody want to take a little stab at it, so to say? Like, do we got a prediction of somebody else being next, or anybody feeling anything? I mean, who's left?
Okay, so here's what's going on at City Hall right now. They have budget talks. They have a lot of money to spend. There's a lot of jockeying for positions, of what each person wants for their district. So it's always ramped up, April, May, and especially into June politically for them.
Okay.
So everybody's throwing everybody under the bus, trying to get what they want for them.
Okay.
So that's what's happening down there now. And so
You know who I haven't heard from? The mayor. I haven't heard anything about the mayor. Like
He pushed out his.
yeah, he put what he would like on his budget. So
Okay, but I ain't seen him in nothing. I ain't heard from him. Is he good? Are we all right?
He's put on his budget right now.
Okay.
For the city.
Okay.
I haven't heard from Esmeralda in a long time.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
one.
She out.
Esmeralda's up in Merced. She's running for it.
Oh, okay.
She's here still.
Does she
locally,
live in
but-
that district?
She moves that district. Right?
Oh,
Yeah, she don't.
She does now.
She don't live in her own district. She lives out because you have to run for that seat.
so you have to live in the district you represent.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a new thing because I know in the past she didn't do that.
You couldn't help yourself, huh?
I couldn't. You're immoral, unethical.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't.
You
sit
can't
back
live in
and-
a county and
Unbiblical.
run for the city.
Unbiblical.
Look, you got to call a spade a spade.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't heard too much about her.
Nope.
You know where she's at?
Nope.
She's bounced already, though.
But I know she's running against Corbassi. And, we all know who, we would choose in that running right there. I can't really say, but I think, it's obvious, you want a person who knows how to budget money and that. Okay, I'll just leave it like that. So let's give everybody a tower update. We're still working on stuff. We're still doing things, but we had a little hiccup, huh, Bill Richardson? We had a little hiccup. We thought this is interesting. So why don't you let everybody know what's kind of going on? And by the way, for those of you who care, because y'all came up to me this weekend and apparently you care, I'm going to give you the update on the donut situation. And that's what really matters right here, because y'all were taking this personal. Okay, like. I love them just as much as you do, okay? And I'm gonna give you that update. But Bill, what?
Okay, let me ask before I get to go there. How much can I speak on this? Because
I don't
so
know.
this
Facts are facts. I mean,
this past week,
the worst this is gonna just cost me money. That's all. The worst is gonna happen.
Well, we don't want to do that, but okay. So we started getting Wednesday, Thursday.
I think Thursday. No, Thursday.
It was Thursday.
Did you guys talk to the lawyer first?
No, we have not.
For what? Listen, we found out from somebody. Okay, they ain't nothing secret here. Right?
I don't even know what they're about to talk about, man.
I don't know if they should be talking about what they're about to talk about.
Why y'all getting nervous? Just sit back, relax, get your popcorn.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, here you go. Just get your popcorn.
So tower.
And I think it's very important, and I'm going to segue right here because we're running out of time. But this is the type of stuff that's going on. So that brings me to the most important part, Bill, which everybody wants to know is what happened to the donuts.
Yeah.
Because this was real on Sunday. This was real because we got people, they were spoiled. They just come in and get Maple bars and chocolate donuts, and the kids, your son looked at me like I did something wrong, like I offended him. Like, I'm not even hearing from Jesus anymore. Judah was like, do you even hear from Jesus? Like, do you even pray this guy anymore? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I missed it, right? But and he talked about boycotting church. If you can't have donuts, it's time to boycott church. It's time not to come back.
I had to go buy Punduce and donuts for my kids.
Yeah.
It's like a gas crisis right now. It's affecting everybody. So here's what happened. We were told that the only acceptable food now inside the Tower Theater is popcorn. We're no longer allowed to have donuts. So I want to tell all the donut lovers out there, I apologize from my heart to your heart. It's sincere. I feel your pain. And I don't know why donuts got such a bad rap. I mean, I've never dropped any part of my donut. It has always made it to my mouth. I just want to, and the fingers and all, it's always made it. So I just want you to know, donuts, I feel bad for
Not
you.
even
all
a little glaze?
No. I just get it, bro.
Okay.
So here's the deal. So it's popcorn for the most part, pretty much here on out until otherwise. I'm so sorry.
We can't have drinks in there. Coffee is fine.
Hey man, because they be drinking when they be, the other things going on. So you can have any drink you want in there. Careful though. Coffee, water.
You can have that drink every other day.
Yeah, but Sundays
flowing.
Oh, they do
right down the aisle. Bill,
I got a question. Why do you think we can only have drinks and popcorn in the theater? Why do you think it's that?
Well, I mean, obviously the timing of it's pretty interesting here.
No, but why did he put that restriction?
Well, so they wrote an email saying, per the historical preservation of the theater, we can no longer have food in there. So
my assumption, my guess, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. He gets to sell beer and make a lot of money. With some popcorn. So you know what? The theater, it's okay if that gets spilled on the floor. It ain't gonna hurt the theater's value that much with some beer on the floor. Some
beer's fine.
On the floor. Yeah, that's okay. Not. But somehow a donut on the ground on the carpet is gonna make a bigger effect. I think it's about the money.
Oh, here we go again. It's all about the money.
Why don't make no money off donuts? But I can make some money off some liquor and some popcorn.
But I'm telling you right now,
I've said money off of not cleaning it though.
To his credit, he said our standards are a lot higher than his standards.
Wow.
And I'm like,
that is true.
You are right about that.
Wow. So
can I make a proposal? Can we have a section off outside where we can eat donuts?
So it's like a beer garden.
You got to stay
beer garden,
but it's like
for donuts.
It's a donut garden.
Maybe folks will show up a little early to have a donut.
Maybe PD could come over and let us use some of their barricades.
Donut barricade.
There it is.
Oh boy, that can go a lot of ways wrong right there, Mike. Okay, so I just want to tell everybody I wanted to give you the donut.
Get your stab.
We gotta go. No. We gotta go now. You guys are taking it way too far. We just want to give you guys an update, but I will tell you this: Sunday morning, 9 and 11, we'll be back at the Tower Theater. But this week is First Wednesday. Pastor Matt Lacey is going to be in the house. You need to tell somebody who doesn't normally, maybe they work weekends or whatever, they're not normally able to attend, or people who've been wanting to check us out. You got to come to First Wednesday. It starts at 6:30. Doors open at 6. It's going to be an amazing time. Hey, we're going to see you then. Thank you for tuning in to the Not Offended podcast. Do us a favor and show some love by leaving a comment or sharing it with somebody. We love you guys, and we're out. Peace.